Now for something completely different, as we say, Britain's Prince Harry airing more royal bombshells about his private meetings between his family, describing an explosive and what he called terrifying meeting that he had with his brother Prince William as Harry and Meghan planned their exit from royal life. The British paper's not holding back today. They never do on the latest royal war, describing the brothers as, quote, the traitor and the dutiful, and suggesting there is, quote, no way back at this point. Last night, the response from the palace was largely this. The king and the senior members of the royal family were united, fulfilling their royal roles. They attended a carol service at Westminster and sang Christmas songs last night. Let's bring in Neil Sean, UK royal reporter and media correspondent. He's covered the royal family for more than 20 years and has spent time at the palace over the last several days. So, Neil, good to have you with us, as always. So what's the reaction in the royal family to this bombshell? I actually watched it last night. It gets very long and boring in parts, but I did watch it. What's their reaction?
You're a very brave person, Martha. You know, the bottom line is, you know, when you think about it, you know, there he is, Prince Harry, saying he found it terrifying. This is a man who's been in Afghanistan on the front line of war. I mean, you know, really, you're trying to make something dramatic. The bottom line is, it's seen over here, and particularly within palace walls, should we say, as just fluff and nonsense. The bigger problem, Martha, is this, is the continuation of the tissue of lies that, of course, Meghan and Harry have presented about staff working within the palace. That's the bigger problem. And if you saw that, you know, you saw the bit where Harry, like a little schoolboy, holds up this alleged text from Prince William. But what we can tell you first is that really there's no recollection of that particular text from William to Harry. So what was on it, and why didn't you show it to camera? Is it really true? Is the question that a lot of people are asking over here, or was it put out as we often say, allegedly, for dramatic license? One way or another, I think people should know.
Well, there are, you know, once again, I mean, when we picked apart the Oprah interview, there were several things that turned out to be not true. So then I look at this and, you know, questions are raised about manipulation and people from William's office, ostensibly, spreading bad news about Meghan and Harry, but they don't say, you know, what story or what this was. And then there's also a lot of allusions to Kate when they talk about, well, when your partner is, you know, too formal or not welcoming, things along those lines, Neil. But not really the goods in terms of exactly what he's talking about.
Spot on as ever, Martha. The bottom line is this. Let me tell you something. When Meghan first came over to London and she was, you know, seen in and around of Kensington Palace, there was somebody tipping off the media, the press, and that person was based in America. And we believe that that person was connected, as ever, allegedly, with Meghan Markle. Now, the bottom line is she would know how to work the press. This was a great thing for whoever her client, you know, the client was at the time. So for her to claim media manipulation is absolute poppycock. You know, the woman was desperate for attention, and she, you know, spoke to many of my colleagues at various parties in London prior to Prince Harry coming on the scene, desperate to be in the tabloids, desperate to be on Strictly Come Dancing. This wasn't a shrinking violet, you know, but now, because the narrative suits that, she's turned it around to suit herself, and that's really what's angered the British public over here. There really is no way back, and the bottom line is, you know, it's a difficult position for King Charles. Where does he go? You know, if he doesn't invite them to the, you know, the coronation, he's seen as a baddie. If he does, the British public dislike him.
We got to go, but we'll pick it up. You know, I couldn't help but think about the money they got from Netflix and the money her dad got for sitting there reading a book on Britain and thinking, how are these things so different, really? Neil, thank you very much. That's the story for this week, everybody. I'll see you back here next week.